Episode 11.
Yes, the episode. We are now live. We're about to introduce.
One, two, good.
Always have good energy.
Yay, yay. Back with episode 11 on Talking Big Uglies. And hit that like or subscribe button, man, and we can get this thing rolling, man. Shout out to Tone Drone Productions and Tone and Mr. Nice for getting this thing up and jumping, and the directorial prowess of Mr. Tone himself. We got Coach KB on. Unfortunately, Coach Bernard couldn't make it this evening, and hopefully he'll be back next week. But I'm Coach Sad, your host for the mostest. And a lot of people don't really understand that I coach at Baltimore City College, and been around for a long time, and just like to talk football with some locals. And for tonight, speaking of locals, tonight we have Coach Kev, Coach Kevin Roberson, long time youth league coach, been around for close to 40 years, and we started coaching together way back early 90s, and we share the same mentor, Coach Lemuel D.D. Thomas, and Coach Kev been around a long time. But before we get to Coach Kev, Coach KB,
Yo, Coach Say, how you doing, man?
good, how are you, man?
Doing great. God's blessed me with another week, so I'm grateful.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So
Yes, sir.
we have Coach Kev on. Coach Kev, can you just let us know uh, how long you've been around, man, and where you've coached at, and give us a little history of kind of where you coached at and how long you've been around, man.
Yeah, it's close to 40. I got another year to get to 40, but I started out doing flag, Greater Model Recreation Center, West Baltimore, on Saratoga Street, down on Saratoga and Schroeder. And, I did that while I was in high school. I was about 18 years old. I played for Southwestern High School. And that's where I basically started at. And then once I started flag, we started doing tackle. That was like in 83, 84. I started that. Yeah, like 84 I started doing that. Doing the youth. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure what age it was. Believe it was like 10 and under when I first started. And then I switched
Mm-hmm.
over to tackle. And then when I started doing tackle, I did it with actually the first guy I started coaching tackle, his name, Muscle. He was from Murphy Homes. And he used to drink a lot. So I was doing everything. That's how I learned to a lot. And he was at the games. He'd be there, but I was running everything. And what I got back with Coach Didi, which is my mentor, I played for him. He spanked us. And as we going across the field shaking hands, I said, Coach D, I'll be there next year. And that was in 80, 89, 90. And I ain't turned back since. I was with him up until he retired.
So so right now, like you're on the road right now. So tell us why almost 40 years that you're on the road right now and you're not stationary to talk to us. Why are you on the road right now?
Yeah, I'm on the road right now because actually I'm dropping kids off now, and I just come from I was in Brooklyn First, I was in Lakeland, dropping kids off. Then I went to Brooklyn, drop kids off. Then I went to Lansdowne. No, I didn't have to go to Lansdowne. I had somebody to do that. And then I went to Park Heights. Now I'm on my way to drop a kid off in Middle River, and then to Edgewood. So I'm basically, my wife's Honda because my truck down. But for the kids, I gotta do what I gotta do, because without us, they ain't gonna have nobody. You know,
Absolutely.
it's the love for it.
Yep.
Every year I say I'm done, or I ain't gonna do this and I don't do that, but I'll be right back at it.
Coach
Hey,
KB.
coach,
I just,
continue to hold the
you know,
line. Continue to hold the line, Coach Kev. Continue to hold the line, Coach Kev. Now, you mentioned about
yeah.
your mentor, Coach Didi. Hear your passion. I
Oh
see you
man,
on the road now. What did you learn from Coach Didi? What's the biggest thing you took from Coach Didi that got you coaching?
discipline and being firm and sticking with. If you think if you're gonna do it, and never always don't second guess yourself. Never second guess yourself. If you think that's what you want to do, you do it and you stand by it. He always said, because a couple times I lost a game, and I always should go out. That's why I miss him now. Something don't go right, I can go to him and talk to him. And then I'll call say it. But I call him and he'll be like, man, I don't think he say, don't do that. Don't do that. You did what you thought was going to work. It didn't, and live with it. Live with it. And I do that in regular life today. Don't second guess myself. If you did it, you did it, and live with it.
Mm.
And that's the kind of culture I'm sure he created at, teaching you about Lakeland and involved in the Lakeland community. But just tell me a little bit about the kids, the Lakeland community. Tell me about like why you still do it for so long. You said coming on 40 years. Why is your heart still in the Lakeland community?
Lakeland community is tough, man. It's actually in the community. It's a lot of Hispanics there, and we try to integrate with them and get them be involved with them, but they pretty much don't. They don't play football. So the little bit kids that's left, I gotta try to be there to keep it going because actually, I'm I'm the only one in Lakeland. Basically, I'm the only one in Lakeland at working football. I have a few
Yes.
young coaches that does the basketball, but most of the coaches now, they want to start with 12-year-olds and 11-year-olds. I mean, most of the time they already got a wicked jump shot or they already can block or catch. I get my fun, my thrill out of 5 and 6 and 7-year-olds that don't know nothing between the grapefruit and the football. And when I get done with them by the 11 and 12, now they know what's going on. I love to teach. I call myself a teacher. I'm not really a coach. At this point in my life, I really don't coach. I teach. I teach. And like I tell the kids on the field, let's treat it like school. I'm teaching you, listen, and you gotta suck it in. You gotta be a sponge when I'm teaching. I love kids that don't know how to play. Some of the teams I have coached in the past 6 or 7 years, a lot of coaches would have hung themselves. These young boys, they would have hung themselves. They couldn't coach these kids.
Mm.
If they can't win a championship, they not gonna coach no kids. All I need is 13, 14 little kids show up, and we gonna go to work. Go to work. These
Just
coaches,
getting
if
better.
they see they ain't gonna win, they'll go somewhere else and find another team to combine with, and because they wanna keep on being champions. But anybody can coach a kid that already know what to do. You know, I learned that when I first started coaching with Coach Didi because I had the big boys. I ain't even gonna lie. Yeah, I put the X's and O's there, but they already had the heart. They already knew what to do when they got there. All I had to do was polish them off with plays. Learning new plays and stuff. But blocking and tackling, they was already ready. Already ready. So when these coaches got the 12s and 11s and 13s, that ain't hard to do. It's not. It's with them 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old babies. That's where it's at. And I think
Absolutely.
we're losing focus with that. We losing focus with the babies. And that's why I'm a stigma for, I believe if you under 10, 9 and under, you should play 6, 7 games and be done. No championship, no playoffs, none of that. That's just how I feel. Because then we can get more teaching done. But when you 6 and 7 and you trying to win a championship, oh, Lord Shorty don't know what to do. You slide them to the side because you got a championship to win. But if we're teaching and they learning and there's nobody winning, oh, you don't care. You can teach. Don't worry about it. We get them the next game. So that's where I'm at with it,
So,
with the Lakeland community.
so Kev, tell us a little bit about Lakeland's football history. I know we started out at Lillian Jones before you went to Lakeland, but really, to be honest with you, the championship was in Florida years ago, and it was only all these teams now they go to Florida playing these games, but it's really only two coaches that went to Florida and really won from the old system. And that old system was tough. It was tough. You had
Yeah,
regional
yeah,
play, and then you had so it's only two coaches that did that. People don't realize that it's Coach Herb and Coach Kev. So, Coach Kev, tell us a little bit about back then and at Lakeland when you had to go through that gauntlet to get to Florida and when you became the national champion in 2001. Tell us a little bit about that.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna start with saying this: if you lost one game, you ain't winning no nationals. So I went 16-0. We 10 games because once we run our league, we had three divisions within our league. So after I won my division, like college and stuff, I had to go on and play in the league play, right? And
Hmm.
then when you win that, then you go on in regionals, and you don't know where that you might be in Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New York, and you win that game. The next game may be in one of the other cities, and you never play nobody that you saw again. Like one time they say they had championships to the same teams that played before in a national championship. That never happens. That never happens. Never. It's just was. It was like the NFL. You moving around. You're not playing no local teams. You're not playing that. Once you hit the Eastern region, you don't. You like we played in that. We played our Eastern region in Lock Haven, Pennsylvania, in some mountains. Cold. My kids ain't no. We didn't play good in cold, but they played good that day. Cold as heck in Lock Haven, Pennsylvania. Anybody could play down in Florida, but to get to Florida, you had to play in cold weather first. To get to Florida,
Hmm.
yes indeed, snowing, cold rain. To get to Florida before you get that sunshine, yes indeed,
So you gave
yes.
us just to jump in a little bit, Coach Kev. You gave us a little breakdown of having. You said your division play, then you had your league play, then you had regional play. So how did you keep your teams focused during that time for the different challenges that was coming ahead?
You want to know how I kept them focused? We call it the hill. So we got this big hill in Lakeland, and anytime one person didn't pay attention, I just point and they run. They come back, I just point and they run up the hill. For they hit the hill. They didn't know. They thought they was getting punished, but they didn't know they was just getting ready for war. If one thing about our teams, even if we didn't win, we played to the fourth quarter, to the end. You better have some energy to play us. What they say, you better bring a Snickers. You better bring a Snickers. Trust me.
No,
You
that's
better
right.
bring a Snickers. Everybody who watch the commercial know what I'm talking about. You better have a Snickers because you ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. You know, and the difference between back then how I kept them focused, they challenge each other. Nowadays, oh, he said he going out for quarterback. Okay, if a kid came to my field, tell me they want to play quarterback or running back, I get pumped. I clap my hands. I said, yeah, because my veterans. I said, yeah, I got a new quarterback. I ain't got nowadays. They like, there you go. He's like, what? 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 I say, I don't have no favors. If he better than you, he gonna be there. And that's how oh my goodness, they ain't play that. They ain't play. They ain't play me favoring somebody just coming. Oh no. I say, Coach, I'm gonna say this. Coach K, you trying to get him hurt. I say, no, you better not hurt. I'm telling you, kids start coming, then we start getting kids from all over. Start getting kids from different places. They walks, that's called dogs. That's what I call dogs. And my son, he was one of the smallest kids out there, but was a dog. played corner and quarterback and fullback. Back when he played, he was the fullback and he was smaller than the tailback.
Mm.
Yes, indeed. But when he gonna open that hole up, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir. Love it.
Yeah, I miss
Mental
those days,
toughness.
kind of,
So
and like a lot of my ex-players, they come and watch me. He like, Coach Kev, you done kind of got soft. I said, nope. I ain't get soft. I had to change the size because if I do what we did back in the day, they gonna quit. They gonna quit. They ain't gonna play because they can go home and play the game. Or call mommy, take me to McDonald's. Our kids play, they play like somebody was taking their food. Like, who gonna take their chicken box? Them kids, they wasn't going home and play no game. Most of them. They was gonna go home and start drawing or read a book. They wasn't into, they had no games, they have it like that. But these kids nowadays, they got it so easy that, oh well, if I don't play, I'll just go home and play my game. Or I'll just go over to this team. Nah. If one thing about back in the day, another thing. Ted can contest to this. Harlem Park. I don't care. They will lose all the time. Guess what? You ain't getting their players. Because them boys go right back and with they team. Nowadays, oh, I'm gonna switch to here. I'm going over this team. Oh no, so nowadays, for me, it's hard to keep going because I'm not going nowhere. I'm staying at Lakeland and I'm not combining with nobody. So I can't keep up with the other guys. They want to combine teams and they get this team and putting these teams together. I can't. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Oh, I welcome other players. They can come, but we're not doing no combining. We Lakeland. If you got a team and you fold up and you got 70 kids, well, come on over. But we're Lakeland. We're not changing no kid name. We're not combining no colors. None of that. You're either gonna be Lakeland or I holler at you. I holler at you.
so
And
so
like
that
I
new
say,
that so that
the
new
new
way of
regime,
doing
I
things.
don't know what's up with this. I don't. They don't. I mean, I heard coaches, they actually quit or fold. They can have 15, 16 kids. If they don't look like they're gonna win, they fall in that 10 up. I promise you. And I think I might be one of the longest tenured teams around. Next to like Northwood, like Gardensville, it's some teams that's still out there, but I mean, basically in the city, I'm the longest tenured. I've been coaching out Lakeland since '98, and I ain't skipped a beat other than COVID. And I had a stroke one time, a slight stroke. I was on that field when I got better in the wheel in a chair, in my cane.
Mm.
Yep, couldn't keep me away. Yeah, I was out there, couldn't keep me away. And while we on that note, when I got married, right out loud, I told my wife, I don't care what happened. She already know my football coming first. Everybody looked at me like I was crazy. Of course, I was joking, but you know, but she know how I feel about football. She do not interfere with that. Anything else, she do not interfere in my football. Not at all. Not at all. She don't know. It's time
Shout
for you
out.
to get that up. It's time for you to stop that. She has not yet did that. So I guess what I'm trying to say, I guess I don't look stressed to her. I guess if I look like I'm getting sick or stressed, she may say something. But right now, she said, "You still having fun, boy? Shut up."
So shout out to Angel, man, because that's your backbone,
Yeah,
man.
that's my
Shout out
baby.
to Angel.
Yeah,
Uh,
our
Yes, sir.
anniversary is
so
August 5th. Shout out to my baby. August 5th. It was, we've been married 26 years. Got married in 2000. 26 years. Been together for
woo,
36 years. Yeah,
woo.
she used to help me push my
Kudos.
raggedy BMW when I picked my kids up for football. And I had a clutch. They had to push me and jump in and start so I could get the kids home. And
Yeah.
God blessed me with a pickup truck. And along the way, God and blessed with me a lot of things. And that's why I don't mind picking these kids up, because without him, I wouldn't have had no ride. So I always say I ain't gonna ride them all them kids around. And I'll be gonna pile them up. Old 94 Honda. 94 Honda. I'm not exaggerating, y'all. 9, 10 kids in the 94 Honda. Yeah, I laughed them up. I was young. Everybody jump in. I just did it just now. I had like 6 in here. 6 or 7. I'm in here just now.
So
Don't get no
so
Yep.
tickets,
so
Coach Kev.
So when we
Yeah,
coached
most
that
definitely.
Lillian Jones, yeah,
Okay.
when we coached that Lillian Jones, we coached some heavy hitters. But do you remember playing against Carmelo Anthony when he played at Mount Royal? Tell us a little bit about that game and that season, that '95 season and up
Oh, when we played who? Mount Royal.
Carmelo. Yeah, Mount
When
Royal.
Melo played.
Yes,
When when Melo played.
yes,
Yeah, Carmelo. Yeah, they had a pretty good team that year. I, I believe they I believe he played quarterback and receiver though, and he was
right,
tough. He was tough at and he was tough in football, but we was just a little tougher. You know, I ain't gonna toot my
yes,
horn though. They had a pretty good team. I just outcoached them.
right.
Yeah,
Coach KB.
and Melo, I was surprised when he was in. I didn't really know him like that back then, but I didn't know he was into basketball like that until a few years later.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
Coach
shocked
Kev.
me.
Coach Kev, it's been awesome to hear about your coaching career and everything. But let me tell me a little bit about like the engine of your program. And I know the engine of your program has to do with coaching the players. Like, what about coaching the players? What makes you
Shit, let everybody know y'all having technical difficulties. Can you hear me say it?
There it is.
Okay. Okay, coach, you
Apologize,
back.
fellas.
Everybody back. Y'all just
All
was
right,
gone for a few minutes. They
where
ain't
we
coming
was at?
back in. KB, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead until Coach Ed get back. Go ahead and finish with that
Okay.
question.
Awesome. So my big question for you, Coach Kev, was
The last question, right.
yeah, my last question to you, Coach Kev, was about what what about the Lakeland players continue to get your fire burning? Like, how do you, what, after 40 years of coaching at Lakeland, what about those kind of kids? What about those players have kept you there? And then my second question was about your young coaches. How do you develop your young coaches that come along with you, along with the 40 years that keep you surviving for so long?
Okay, well, what the kids that's out there now, and I'm gonna be truthful out there. It's not a lot of kids that I get from out there. Like I say,
Sure.
a lot of my kids come from people. A lot of kids come from that people that I know already and
Hmm.
family members.
Yeah.
And that's the basic part of most of my
Yeah.
kids where they come from. Uh,
Hmm.
my young coaches, can I tell you the truth? I have one young coach, and
Hmm.
he's Cliff played for me. Cliff about 30. Kevin age. He should be about 36, 35. All the rest of my coaches, we 40. They 40 something years old. So it's a couple
Hmm.
old heads. Now I got another young coach. He's 30 something, but it's hard to get the young ones. Like I say, every time I ask them about coaching, they not into it. Now,
Hmm.
now do want to coach. They either work for it. Like I say, if anybody looking at this, I'm looking for some young, inspiring, spunky coaches. But if they looking for a national championship and accolades, it's the wrong spot. But if you're willing to learn and willing to try to teach what you learn from me, come on, I'm willing to have them to come aboard.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Uh, you
So
know, if I could go just one more time, Coach. Coach said, like when Coach
okay.
K, I love your passion. When I hear you, you talk about your passion of your players, the mentality of your program. Tell me what it is like when you say your motto of your program. What is it to be a Lakeland Viking? When you have a
Oh,
kid or a parent come apart, like when you're selling your program, what is it to be a Lakeland Viking?
look, we came up with this slogan, right? And you're gonna laugh. If I wish I had him here, our slogan is we used to always say why he quit, and then Shorty was doing okay, and Coach Art, we're actually Coach Art, one of my other coaches on coachable came over there. He like Coach Kev, everybody can't be a Viking, and I looked at him and said
Mm.
everybody can't be a Viking, and I said, oh okay, it's with us with being a Viking. I'm a stigma for discipline. I mean, promptness. And a lot of these kids, they don't have the discipline. And when I tell a parent, first of all, to be a Viking, you got to be good in school because that's going to translate to, and you got to pay attention in school. That will transpire or translate and connect, bridge over to the football field. And most of the time, and all these years I've been coaching, I know for a fact a kid that do good in school and then don't. Because you could tell. You could tell. You could tell. You could tell the kids that do good in school and don't. Because they'll pay attention and they'll suck it right in. They always focus. They always focus. And I use a little baby thing now. Like when they ain't listening, I use some. I got like things that I say to them. Like when I actually I got this from Coach Said. Really, I learned this and said a lot of things I do. Said he don't know I punched him too. Not just Coach D. Them. We get on the field. I stand in the midfield. And first thing I like, hurry up, hurry up. I learned that from Clinton. Then stop. We could be at a game. And if I stand and I start hollering, hurry up, they come to me like pigeons. I'm throwing my food out to them. They could be with their mother. They already know in the game, I don't care what you doing. In practice or at the game or we great start, you can go do whatever you want. You better hear me say, hurry up, hurry up. You better hear me. You better be within distance for me to hear you. Because you don't want to, you're on game day, you don't want to not hear that. Because guess what? Depends on who you are. You're going to beside me and try to put you in. And I let the would have knew that when I start talking, they need to come to me. They minds for the how long is the game with an hour for us, hour. They minds for the hour, miss. You signed them up for me to take care of them. So let me handle this. They are minds. I know I'm
Mm.
getting a little excited, but when I start talking, that's how I get like that.
A lot of passion, coach. You ain't got to apologize for passion.
So Kev, tell us something about right. Um, like over the years, we done coached a lot of kids, man. So tell us a little bit about coaching some of these kids, and then we lose them to tragic things that happen to them, man. And how do you feel about that? And where does that take your mind
Uh,
after you lose a kid, man? Because I know we lost Pickle, was one of the best
yeah, that's
running
what I
backs in the
say.
city.
Yeah, now you brought that up. That my heart. Oh man, we call him the pickle, and that pickle. Coach Didi made the name up for. I don't know where he get that from. Calling him a pickle, but that that was a. That, you know how you say you think for a fact that kid lesson, something. He went in the NFL. He done went D1 college, and he played for me. And when he was like 9 years old, he lived with his mom. So it's funny because I'm thinking about it. After a game, he might break a 70-yard touchdown, hit 100-something yards, game over. I'm lining up. We are listening, y'all. It's funny. His mother right there. Go ahead. So we lining up grade leave. I like, see y'all tomorrow. He be beside me. I'm going with you. I like, no, you ain't. Guess what his mother said? Yes, he is. Came and shit. Jump in the car and roll out. I like, come on, boy. Come on. He started laughing. And it turned into 1 year. Football, he don't play for me no more. He at my door. Well, can you come and get me? Well, I go to it because when he left me, he went with the Charm City Buccaneers playing, and that he was killed in Cherry Hill, and they got that's Cherry that just anyway, fight somebody and just be right where you at because now they they, they can't take an ass whooping. Like Pop say, they can't take an ass whooping. They gotta go get a gun. Or, I got some team. I look at it all the time, and it's like, all right, we maybe had 17 kids. 10 of them, out of 10 of them, at least 10 of them, maybe 7 to 8 are dead. 3 or 4 doing hard time, at least 20, 30 years. Maybe 2 went on to, work and do good. None of them really actually, went to college and played no football. But I had a couple of them that really good, that, they're pretty good, as far as their regular life. They didn't play football, but, they worked and was productive citizens. My stories with a lot of my kids, I got, I hate to say it, I got more bad stories than good stories. And I think that's one of the reasons why I keep pushing it. I'm trying to tell the kids this ain't just about football. When you stop playing football, Coach Kev gonna still come. Call me. I'll be to your football games. I'll be to your graduation. I'll be to whatever you need, your wedding. It ain't just about football with me. So keep in touch. And to this day, I got kids, that's 30 years old still call me. They call me Pop. And then and I ask a couple, how your mother doing? She fine. How you father? I ain't no father. You my father. I'm like, you was my father, Coach Kev. I don't care what you say. And it's 35, 36-year-old guys, not no 18-year-olds. These are grown men saying this. And I didn't realize how much effect I had on these kids until recently. When I'm grown, I'm like, huh? All I thought I was having fun. I was 25 years old, 30. I was having fun and playing video games and teaching them the football. I didn't know they was looking up to me like, okay, my father don't do this with me, or my father don't take the time out with this with me. I didn't realize this until I got older now. You know, I have, and my wife, one thing, I have parties, or if I have a gathering, I, I pop up, Nick, Shay, Willie, I like, where y'all come from? Oh, Aunt Angel told us you was this. We coming up here. We coming. I'm like, oh, okay. They gonna keep up in contact with their Coach Kev, along with me keeping up with them. A couple of them are truck drivers. Like, they doing pretty good. I got a couple kids that's doing pretty good. You know, I'm just hoping that the ones now that can, feed off of that. That's why I need somebody that got the energy that I have to keep this going. Everybody, we all got to go. I ain't gonna be here forever. I just want somebody to keep this going. And it's hard. And I'm gonna say it again. Anybody's looking at this, if you willing to teach, you're not worrying about accolades, and you're not worrying about winning the championship. We're open. We got some coaching spots for you. We got some coaching spots for you.
Absolutely.
So,
Hey,
Coach
hey,
Kev, we
Coach.
get into we have this segment called Canary in the Coal Mine, where we talk about stuff that don't nobody want to talk about, and it's similar to like the elephant in the room. When we come back, we're gonna hit you with a question that people don't normally like to answer the
Okay.
question. So we coming
All
right
right.
back.
Doing this for a minute.
So Coach Kev, you've been coaching close to 40 years. What do you think about coaches that poach kids and take kids from different programs without conferring with you and talking to you about you know, them taking your kids. And I know for a fact that you ain't never, as long as I've known you, you never poached a kid. You always coach with whatever you had, which was in the program, right? So, and I know that's kind of dear to your heart. So, talk a little bit about when jokers poach your kids, and you know you coaching kids that you know just that's in the program. Tell us a little bit about that.
All right, well, like that's another thing I learned from Coach Didi. One thing me and Coach Didi, he taught me is that kids, like me, I'm gonna talk about me first. If I get a kid, right, and he play football and he look pretty good, like, oh, shorty, are you all right? You play before? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I said, well, you play for, you? I play for such and such. I said, oh, yeah. I said, guess what, shorty? I know him. I'm going to call him and see what's up. Why you, they're a pretty good team. Why you ain't go back up there? What's wrong? No, I just ain't want, let me call and see what's up. Coach, what's up? What's up? Hey, coach, what's up? This coach, hey, what's up, Coach Kev? I got little Michael down here. He played for you. Yeah, Coach Kev. That he took my equipment, ain't bringing it back. Um, he just wasn't, ready for us. He's got an attitude. He got this. And the first thing I do, don't worry about coach. You gonna get your equipment. You can't play with me. Get equipment back, man. In fact, he can get my equipment back. In fact, he gonna get it back. He can play. You can play. Say now, Coach Kev. Especially if you're a friend of mine, you won't play. We don't play. That's what Coach Didi called uncouth. Actually, it kind of just happened to me last year. I had a coaching with me. He spent me all year. Yeah, Coach Cam, I'm with you. I'm gonna be to you like you was the coach, like Coach Didi was the you. And he had me all pumped up. So he ain't win no games last year. And he was picking some of my kids up, kind of find out he went on to another team, took 4 or 5 of my kids. It's uncouth. Coach Didi, that's called uncouth. To this day, I really don't understand what that means. Uncouth meant that uncouth to him is a no-no, a negative. That's what Coach Didi, he's uncouth, kid. So if you get that name uncouth from Coach Didi or me, that means you have no integrity. You don't play no football and you come from another team. Why you gonna leave somebody? Why did you leave? It had to be something wrong. These coaches nowadays, they're gonna take your kids and don't care nothing about what's going on. You know? And I had a couple kids that played for me now that's playing of a team. Coaches are actually I don't know. Coaches are actually cutting kids. I like where they do that at? And you don't have 30 players on the roster and you cutting players? I, Me and Coach E say, no, we don't cut nobody. He taught this. Another thing, he said, Kev, we don't cut nobody. I said, we got a player we can't use. We ran out of equipment. Your mom can get you some equipment. That's okay. We practice hard. In other words, a kid got to quit on us. If you ever heard anybody ever say Coach Kev cut him, they lied. They are lying. They either quit, stop coming, or my fault. Or they was probably disrespectful, cuss. But I don't even have a. Even that so. If they came and talked to me, I still gave them another chance. It's just these coaches nowadays. That's what they do. They poke your kids, and a lot of them, if they don't get their way, they like babies. They gonna go somewhere else. So now I'm at the point where as though if a guy, and Sad told me this a long time ago, another thing I learned from him. It is my fault. I didn't even listen. He said, Kev, you need to interview coaches before you let them go. I'm like, huh? I know it's literally, you need to interview, get a background on them. You know? And now since that happened, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Exactly. They couldn't find out the guy. I mean, I knew he was kind of like a criminal. He had got shot. And I still wanted them with me, but he wasn't truthful with me. And I'm not even mad when I see him today. I'm going to speak to him and hug him and all that. Because I'm not, I learned this from my wife. Don't give nobody that power. Don't be mad. You giving them power. I take the power back. Because when I see him, I'm hugging like, what? How'd you do? How your season go? You okay? That's what I'm going to do. because I'm okay. Because it happened. And the last time this happened, somebody left me. We won a championship the next year. I couldn't wait to see them coaches that left me. I couldn't wait. I said, you couldn't wait. Hold on, one more year, huh? We won it without you. And the kids you took, we still won it. So, and the kids, and last year, he took a few kids. For the 3 or 4 he took, I got 6 new ones for that. God said, here you go, Kevin. Here goes 6 babies for you. They don't know about
Mm.
football, but here you go. I say, thank you, God. I'm a
Hey,
Coach
Coach
KD.
Kev. Coach Kev, it's been awesome hearing about your journey, your 40 years coaching, just reminiscing about meeting. I remember meeting Coach Didi and you and talking in that clinic years ago, but just been fantastic, just rehearing about you. But for me, I want to know the man beneath the coach because I hear you talk about integrity. I hear you talk about the real important things in life. Tell me about a little bit who impacts you a lot growing up, like your family, the man you are. Tell me about who helped you become the man you are and have that foundation so that you're able to speak with such passion and coach these kids and really see a better future than they can see for themselves. So tell me a little bit about who motivated you growing up, whether your mom, your grandmom, your dad, your uncle, someone in the community that motivated you, and how did that help you throughout your career?
Actually, I grew up just like them. My father wasn't around much. It was just my mom, me, my brother, and my sister had moved out. I had my aunt husband, which was my uncle. He early on. You know, Coach Didi, Coach, since I was 10 years, since I was Coach Didi came my graduation, high school graduation. Coach Didi there, Coach Didi was there when I got. Actually, he remarried me. Everything that was when I got sick, I had my slight stroke. Guess who was at that hospital? Coach Didi.
Didi.
Coach Didi. And guess what? He was a minister. You know, that's the first time I seen him go off. He come to the hospital, see how I was doing. And I was crying. I was like, man, I've been here all this morning. I ain't, I ain't get water. I got you. All I heard is like, what's going on with this? He said, ain't to wash him up. He's leaning on the doctors and the people at the front desk. Nobody go check on him yet. Why hasn't nobody been there, man? Them 4 ladies come running in there. And you know, Coach Didi was 6'6", what,
Hmm.
280, 300. So I didn't think nobody want to buck with that. You know, that is the one. That is the one,
Yes.
hands down. And I love my mom dearly. She was old school. She wasn't into
Yeah.
sport. She told me my tail back not go play more, and it costed $10 back then. And you ain't get no $10. Guess what Coach Didi did when I went down there? Don't worry about it. You ain't got to pay. You can still play. And I played. Gave my equipment, brand new equipment. Gave my equipment and everything. And that's the mentality I got now. What we do is we charge $50 for kids to play. And if they don't pay, they still play. They
Mm.
$50 don't even cover. Shoot, that don't even really cover much. That's really the body kids snacks after the game. If we have a banquet, when we have our banquets to uh, get a few trophies, to me it's about them kids. At the end of the day, I don't know how you have the guts to tell a kid that, oh, your mother ain't got the money, you can't play. And guess what? Sometimes some of the kids got the Jordans and this on. In my mind, if your mother and father won't be that trifling and not pay for you to play, you can still play. I'm not even going to take it out on you because you don't take care of yourself. Because we have some trifling parents that would do that. That would do that.
Mm.
And when I tell parents, when they get, well, Coach Kev, I don't have the money, don't worry about it. I got a few guys that'll come around and donate $100 maybe, or say,
Yeah.
Coach Kev, what you need. This year I had a few guys. Shout out to Paul, from Lakeland. Paul from Lakeland. He's done a really good job. He's one of the guys in the neighborhood that was, entrepreneur. He did bad things, got himself together now. He's trying to give back, get his stuff, get it right. And actually, he called me last week. Coach, come on, Coach Kev. I need where to get these jerseys at for you. And he ain't bluff. Every week he brought me a donut that you tackle, a blocking dummy, footballs, um, Combs. And don't forget, I'm part of Baltimore City Recreation Park. Shout out to Baltimore City
Yeah.
Recreation Parks too. You know, and right now the funding in the city is funny. So
Yeah.
all I do is get a little bit here, a little bit there, you know, and get a little bit. I have a couple coaches that's really cool, you know. Like I have a friend Dirk, my friend Dirk in Cherry Hill. If I need to talk to him about something, me and him talk. You know, he a real
Yeah.
stand-up guy. You know, I know a lot of
Sure.
people know him, but with me, he is a really stand-up guy. And if I need something, he'll help me out. You know, Mr.
And
Derwin in Baltimore City Rex and Parks. He's ABC Seminoles. He's up around West Side Shopping Center. He another guy, older guy like me. Out there, he was in the hospital, still out here trying to get these kids together.
yeah.
You know? Oh, and
Yeah.
by the way, to let
Coach.
y'all know, I don't just do football, I do baseball too. You know, I got baseball
Awesome.
teams that we had too. That's another thing. These football teams, they play all year round. My team ain't even in equipment yet. I'm still teaching 3-point stands. And they playing games right now. I don't care. I'm teaching kids. Our season don't start the next month, for real. So, you know, like I say, if a lot of these coaches had to do what I had to do, they will hang themselves. I'm telling you. They will hang themselves. I'm having fun, though, man. I have fun with it.
Absolutely. Coach Kev,
So yeah,
continue to be a great coach. Continue to be like Coach Didi. And like I said, I always like to ask the question, who's the man behind the man? And I can see Coach Didi with everything you said. And you didn't even have to mention your mom. I could see and hear Coach Didi and what you were saying. Coach said, thank you for this opportunity. Go ahead, Coach.
yeah. I just want to say, Kev, thanks, man, and you know, you like a brother to me, man. You the godfather of my sons, man, and
Most definitely. My baby
you know,
boys.
we started out way back in 1994 together, and won the Upland League championship in 1995 together, man, and you know, been around some times. I remember the time when the Jokers came on the football field and stabbed the balls. Like we had some footballs and we had some Jokers come with a knife and just start stabbing the balls. And
Yeah,
me and
yeah.
Kev had to fight them Jokers off. You know what I mean? Just a gang of knuckleheads just come up on the field and just start stabbing the footballs with knives. You know, back
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the early
yeah.
'90s. So we had to fight them Jokers off, man, and you know, I never forget them days, man. And you know, Coach Kev had ran the offense, and people don't realize I was a defensive coordinator back then, when Coach Kev was the offensive guy, and we won a lot of games back then with a lot of
Yeah.
kids, man. And
Now,
Kev, I wanna thank you. You got any last things you want to say, Kev, before we
yeah,
go?
yeah. Now you said I don't want to cut you off. Have anybody ever heard what I'm going to say? You ever heard a team don't have a head coach? One year, Coach Didi said, you know what? Both y'all head coaches. We looked at each other like, huh? Both y'all head coaches. No, both y'all head coaches. And I never in my life seen that done before. And me and said, we were so passionate. We were, when I say fuss, not fuss, whereas though we want to fight each other like that. We would go through things like this. So said we out there. We got a game going on. So I run the ball. So we inside our own 20 or the 15. Dad, Kev, you gonna leave me right there. Come on, man. So say go out there and do a 4 and out. All right, now score. So now I get out there and I score. Now I look at him, now stop them. That's how we used to be on the sideline
Mhm.
fussing and going at each other. All right. And then I say, you letting number one run on y'all like that, man. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. And he'd go out there, I don't know what he'd say, killer bees, Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. And he'd blitz and get the sack. He'd say, yeah, you got the ball. Now y'all got 80 yards to go. What you gonna do? I say, I got you. And I hand that thing off to Junior. We in there. And so when we leave, I say, yeah. I say, yeah. I say, Sid, you gave up too much yards. He say, what you talking about? Them niggas only got like 20 yards. Them guys only got 20. I say, I don't care. That's too much. That's too much. I say, we had 200 yards. And 180 of that was on the ground. And I walk away. I always tell Sid that a positive for you is the team come away with negative yards. Simple as that.
Standards, coach.
Yeah,
High
we did.
standards. Love it.
We
Yeah,
did,
yeah.
man. We
Man said
did.
you
We
set them
did.
standards like crazy. He started it though. He started. He know when you light a fire under me. Don't wake a sleeping giant.
I
Don't
can
wake a
see it in this
sleeping
interview,
giant.
coach.
Yeah, yeah, we used to
All
go
right.
at it. A good thing though, we used to go at it all the time. That's why Coach D said, I'm making both y'all head, coach. I'm shaking my head. And that's why I love Didi so much. He loved me, but he ain't take no favors over me. Oh no. Oh no, he'll let me know. He'll let me know. That ain't right, or that's right. And he knew what he's doing. He knew what he's doing. And I want to walk around with my chest out thinking I'm in charge. Nah, it's both of y'all. And I'm looking at Didi like, what? And
Watch
Put
your
your
Didi
ducks,
hands
out
above
there
Kev,
the
on the
going
camera,
thing.
at
coach.
it.
Your hand in the way.
Yeah, yeah. But all right,
Yeah,
Kev.
Coach,
yeah,
Hey,
just
but
look.
said. Coach said. Close us out. Coach said.
Yeah. So thanks, Kev, and really appreciate you, man. And it was a great
I love
interview,
you, man.
man. And love you too,
Thank you,
man.
KD.
And
Thank y'all. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate all of y'all, man. And like I say,
uh,
anytime you need me to chop it up with y'all, just let me know. I'm in there with you.
all right. Thanks, Kev. Appreciate it, man. And welcome. This to conclude rather our episode 11 from Talking Big Uglies, and we'll definitely be back next year. Well, shout out to Coach Kev and rest in peace, Coach DD.